there any way we could dim these lights a bit? Because I can't see anything. Or perhaps aim in a different direction. I can't see anything. Oh, that's better. Sorry, it is.
The ARP Odyssey you had on Synth Britannia recently, is that the same one you used for Metamatic?
Sorry, say that again.
The ARP Odyssey.
The ARP Odyssey?
Synth Britannia.
No, unfortunately it wasn't. No, that's Benj's, that's the Benj Studio one. Mine's better than that, because it works 100%, is a bit wonky in places, but that's part of its charm. No, I've still got the instruments that I used in Metamatic. Or all except one, which I sold in Leeds when I lived here, which was an Elka string machine that I sold for 20 quid. And it's worth a lot more now. And it was immaculate too. It makes me weep. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that. It's distressing.
I'm intrigued how you did the vocal effects on Erosion's albums. Is it backtracking or wizardry?
Yeah. Well, it's partly an old studio trick called reverse reverb. You used to have to do on tape. And it's really interesting because it mucks about with time, and that's why I love it so much. You know how an echo dies away? You hear that sort of echo from you, and it dies away slowly. Well, you can record that onto tape, but if you reverse the tape, so it's playing backwards, and record that sort of echo, when you put the tape on again, the echo's in reverse, so it starts from nothing. Instead of dying away, it starts from nothing and builds up to this point where the voice starts. And it's a wonderful, magical effect. I just love it. And I loved it when I used to do it when I had a studio that used tape. And then I figured out how to do it digitally. So it's a lot harder digitally, oddly enough, because the pieces aren't stuck together like they are. You know, the sound is together on the tape, but in digits it's very abstracted, so it drives you mad trying to synchronize it. But it's a wonderful effect. And what it does, as I realised, it makes a sort of harmonic field, so that you almost can't be out of tune with yourself when you sing. And that's very useful for me, particularly. And I love it for that reason. It sets up the harmonies before you begin to sing, so you can't be wrong, if you understand it. So even if it's actually better if you're slightly out of tune or out of key, and that's commonly what I am most of the time. So it actually makes its own environment, and that's one of the beauties of reverberation, that you can make a little world in sound. I think those kind of illusions are really interesting. We're still recording sound anyway, it's just an illusionistic medium, it's a set of illusions. I think we're still at the point in recording where we were with painting about 100 years ago, before all the avant-garde stuff hit. It's illusionistic, but that's part of the fun of it, I think. Anyway, forgive me for going on about things.
Yeah, most composers seem to be very prolific, say between 17 and 25, and then they tend to slow down. You're going through an amazingly prolific period at the moment. What are the inspirations you have?
Well, thanks, yeah. Well, I don't know really. I don't think it's any more prolific, it's just that I can do this stuff now. It used to be awful hard work to get an album made or figure out who you're going to work with. And it was so cumbersome, the whole sort of system, contracts, record companies, all that stuff. And now that things have changed, it's freed everything up, so you can go off and work with who you want to. You don't have to slog your way through all the legal documents anymore. And I suppose I'm at a time now where I can afford to do that. I'm not on tour all the time. I'm not desperate to have the next hit single, if I ever did have a hit single. So you're free to pursue what you want to pursue now.
So the way the industry has changed is it's both kind of a blessing progressing when it occurs.
Yeah, exactly. Like every other advance in science and technology, society always is, isn't it? You know, it has great sides and it has the B side as well, the bad side. So that's it. But the good side of it is that, you know, that you can be more prolific. If you hate the music, of course, you just get more crap, which is the bad thing. But at the moment, I'm enjoying it tremendously. Yeah.
I think that there's a danger with the sort of technology that's available now that seems to concentrate on technology.
Yes.
The artistry really sort of removed from it.
Yes, but yeah, that relationship between technology and art is interesting, isn't it? And I think we are in a particularly difficult time because there are lots of easy ways to do things, and some of the easy ways work and they're good as well. And if you're young and just starting out, you grab all that and you make it into your own, and it becomes a sort of new language, one that usually is designed to exclude anyone even 5 years older than you, which is part of what some kinds of music are about, aren't they? So all the digital technology is very useful for that because it alienates parents right away, automatically, and sometimes that's its purpose. But for other uses and other kinds of music, those technological things are very useful, I think. I love them. It's like this film, you know, where you have that old cruddy bit of film that you could never have projected that big or played with in that way 15 years ago. You couldn't have done it. But now, because of technology, you can do all this exciting stuff with older things, and you can reappraise them. So there are all those positive sides too. You know, there's always, as we said, there's always a positive and a negative to those things, and you have to seize the positive, as the song said.
What sort of framework